Okay, this has been a really hard day for all of us with judges making some really devastating rulings. We're watching the courts let us down in real time. But I do want to remind folks really quickly, the courts were never going to save us. Just like our electeds and any bureaucrats, those folks were never going to save us. It is up to us, the American people, to be our own heroes. It is up to us. This nation belongs to us. The power lies with us. The solutions will come from us. We're watching more big law firms absolutely capitulate to fascism, sell their souls. If you want to watch me scream at them a little bit and talk about what's going to happen in the post-Trump era to collaborators, feel free to go check out all of my rants on Blue Sky today. But for this video, I would like to be a little bit more positive because I don't want that negative news to overwhelm us. Remember, this is the shock and awe campaign from the Trump regime. They want to demoralize you. They want you to feel overwhelmed. They want you to give up. And so we know that we must do the opposite of whatever a narcissist wants. We must do the opposite of whatever a bully wants. Therefore, we cannot give in to fear and we cannot give in to despair. We must find ways to bolster ourselves and keep going. Okay, I actually took a break and went on a walk with my family. I was gone for about an hour and a half, and now I am back to finish this video. But that's precisely what I'm talking about, right? We need to do the things that make us feel grounded and connected and help recharge our batteries. What I actually wanted to share with you all is a piece from Rabbi Daniel Ruttenberg. I just started following them on Blue Sky a couple of days ago, and I found a piece that they posted in July of 2024, actually, called Find Your Place on Deck, and I'd like to share some of it with you. The subtitle of this piece is Another World is Possible, but we must start living into it today. And this is precisely what I've been talking about, right? I keep saying that the future is ours. We get to write it, that we don't have to sit passively by and let Donald Trump write our future, that the power lies with the American people and we get to decide what America looks like. We get to decide what we value and what we want in this country. And I think so many of us have been consigned to that idea that the super rich get to drive everything and get to dictate what this country looks like and where we're going. We have forgotten that, as Cory Booker said, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And obviously, as a permaculturist whose ethics are earth care, people care, and fair share, I'm very idealistic. I'm constantly thinking that a better world is possible. I'm constantly wanting to create that better world. I very much believe that we, the people, can create a just society, a just and regenerative society. If we want it bad enough, if we are tenacious enough, if we are not willing to roll over and accept somebody else's lesser version, somebody else's selfish, greedy, diminished version of what the US could be. There is so much possibility open to us. By the way, if you don't follow Possibility Maven on TikTok, you absolutely should, because I think that their content is so important and it's very much around this like reimagining. What is it that we want? What kind of world could we create? Very much reframing our problems. In permaculture, we say the problem is the solution. We want to be solution minded. We want to look at a problem and say, how can I use this to create something better? What good can come out of this? What good can I make out of this? And that permaculture perspective has never been more important than it is right now in 2025 America. So I want to share a little bit about what Rabbi Ruttenberg wrote. Again, this was written in 2024 before the election, and they're warning us about Project 2025. They're talking about how the election is important. It's important that we all turn out. But even if Kamala had been elected, they basically go on to say, so much has been broken for a long, long time now. It's beyond time for wide-ranging systemic transformation. We have big, big work to do. On everything, pretty much, because it's all connected. Our education systems are tangled up with punitive notions of justice and systemic racism, the carceral pipeline, economic injustice, which is always intertwined with systemic racism. You can literally pick any part of the tapestry and pull. Reproductive justice has always been a racial justice issue, and certainly abortion bans hit global majority communities hardest. It's a disability justice issue, not only in terms of the disproportionate impact that bans have on disabled people, but also given the fact that Buck v. Bell, eugenic permission to forcibly sterilize disabled people, is still on the books. How much more relevant is this in 2025 America with Elon Musk, who is an out eugenicist, and RFK Jr., who wants to send autistic people to work farms? And Donald Trump and Mike Johnson and the Republicans in Congress wanting to yank Medicaid funding, which we know will cause the suffering and deaths of disabled people in this country. Eugenics is out in full force because eugenics and fascism, they're like this. How much more relevant is all of this right now? Reproductive justice and environmental justice are also intertwined. The right to have children or to not have children, to raise children in a safe and healthy environment includes access to clean drinking water, full stop. Right, and any issue, be it economic or environmental or disability rights or access or education, all of that health access, all of that impacts children more than any other group. Children sit at the intersection of childhood and every other disability, and there's a reason that this regime is coming for our kids first. Cutting free school lunch, cutting the Department of Education, cutting off healthcare from 40% of America's kids, cutting SNAP benefits, destroying environmental protections, and pillaging our national parks, stealing from our children's future. We could keep going with any issue, any starting place, and the answer would keep coming up the same. Our harms are interlinked. Our struggles are interlinked. Because that's what a kyriarchy is. That's what it does. Kyriarchy was coined by feminist theologian Elizabeth Schüssler Fiorenza in 1992 to describe her theory of interconnected, interacting, and self-extending systems of domination and submission. The term comes from the word kyros, meaning master. Kyriarchy encompasses sexism, racism, ableism, ageism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, homophobia, transphobia, fatphobia, classism, xenophobia, economic injustice, the prison industrial complex, colonialism, militarism, and other dominating hierarchies. I would add, including adult supremacy. They all play out in different ways, of course. What happens at the intersection of fatphobia and classism is different than what happens if sexism and or racism are also brought into the mix, for example. That's when we start talking about intersectionality. But the whole larger enchilada of all the interlocking systems of power that are used to oppress us, that is kyriarchy. We're all impacted by this stuff and trapped in the unjust system that doesn't benefit any of us. Even those of us who are ostensibly winning in a game of domination and oppression have lost what really matters most, and you know that. No winner retains their humanity. I think this is really true when we're talking about white feminism and we're talking about the ways that white women use the patriarchy and use white supremacy in order to secure our own comfort. We think that we're winning in that game, but we're actually still losing. There are people who are most harmed and impacted by the most oppressive intersections of this kyriarchy, but all of us are harmed and we are all intertwined. What is going on now is not good for anybody. All the systems of oppression are woven together, and our work to get free will only succeed when we are woven together. We are already in this together. And the only way we will get out of this is together. Solidarity must start to be a different kind of discipline. This is real. All of our issues are intertwined. On one hand, that might sound kind of overwhelming, right? There's so much to do, but here's the secret. That means the work that is desperately needed is everywhere, which means you can start almost anywhere. I say this a lot, but I'm going to say it in a really big font today. We need all hands on deck. There's a lot of deck that needs to be covered. Your assignment isn't to fix everything. You can't. This is a we gig. Your assignment is to show up and do your part. Please, please remember, another world is possible, and your actions can help bring that world into being. We need you. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Your job is to figure out how to be of use. What other skills, talents, resources, capacities, interests might you have that can be exercised in this moment? I know that we're all exhausted, that we all feel ground down in the wake of national, global, communal, personal, and other kinds of trauma. And candidly, some of us do have more capacity than others. Someone dealing with chronic illness or working 2 jobs or a single parent simply will have less to be able to offer. Take realistic stock of your capacities and privileges. Alternate a high level of self-care with getting back into it. What you do matters, your work matters, your efforts matter. It may feel like just an insignificant drop, but a lot of drops gather together into a hell of a storm. Can you see the world that we're trying to bring into being? Never forget that your capacity to fight for justice and your capacity to love must stay intertwined. Hold them both together as one. There is another world that is possible that we can only get to when we begin to live into it now. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I want you to go read the full post if you have the time. And take some time to dream of the world that you want to see. because the work we're doing now is building toward that.